This is a response video to a video I did about 2 years ago. Um, it's not on my page anymore, so don't go looking for it. I did a coming out video on YouTube, and I got a couple of views on it. One guy was really heavily impacted by it. He said through watching the video, it prevented him from committing suicide. So that video at that time was good and it had its purpose for being made. But this video has a very different purpose and a very different reason. And I'm assuming that you know the reason by reading the title of the video. But here's kind of who I was before I came to Christ. Before I came to Christ, I was a flamboyantly gay man. Um, but I was also I was a very proud gay man, but I was also very stern in my beliefs in the sense that I did not have sex on the first day, and it was always about the build up to the consummation of um, the relationship. So that was in response to the promiscuity in the gay community. Um, if I was still pursuing it now, it would still be that. It's always about kind of going away from that. Yeah. But and there was a time where I did nearly have a one night stand. Um, so yeah, I mean, I was heavily pursuing that lifestyle. I was. Um, I know I'm already getting people that are a little bit upset that I called it a lifestyle. Um, but anyways, what I had always kind of really been looking for were friends. I didn't really have friends, and the friends that I did have were a little bit uncomfortable with actually getting close or physically close to me. It was kind of like there always had to be a distance between guys, and that's not true. It's not. You can love a guy fully and be physically intimate, not sexually intimate, but you can be a little bit physically intimate, and it it's no big deal. But society tells us otherwise. So, anyways, the I'd always been looking for friends, and I kind of started to find friends in college, specifically through a religious group on that campus. It was Campus Crusade for Christ. Um, and there was one guy who he kind of was never on campus, but he there was something that I had always liked about him, um, and I'm not going to actually reveal his name, but I came out to him at the end of spring semester 2 years ago. I said, I don't really know how to deal with this. Can we talk about it? And he said, yeah, we'll talk about it over the summer. And so I talked to him every single day that summer. Every day. For like 2 hours a day. I mean, it was a really long time. I was very, very heavily dependent on him at that point in my life. I was scared that he was gonna leave me and all that other crap. But anyways, I came back at the end of that summer. I said, "Can we meet up weekly?" Um, and he said, "Let me think about it." Came back a week later, and he said, "Yes, but if I don't see any growth in you, we're gonna stop meeting up." At the time, I interpreted that to mean that if there is no growth in me, he's going to leave me. Um, that's not what he meant. What he meant was we would stop kind of meeting up on a weekly basis, because that's what he was meant to do. He was meant to help people grow closer to Christ. That's his job. But anyways, so so there's that, and then It is very weird. Trying to figure out what to say. Oh, that made me work hard though, because I was afraid of leaving him. I'll be honest, I didn't really want to grow with him. I just wanted to hang out with him. Um, it's ironic now because all I want to do is grow with him, but he just wants to hang out. Um, but it made me work so hard to grow so that I wouldn't lose him. And then Crew always has kind of a uh, fall retreat. Crew is Campus Crusade for Christ, and I got pushed to go there, and I did. I didn't really want to, but I did. And we took this personality test, and to see how we most related to God. Um, I'd always been pursuing kind of the religious aspect. It had been ingrained in me since I was born, and that wasn't something that I was willing to give up, even as a gay man. Um, and I got intellectual, and they had nothing planned out for intellectuals. They had something planned out for every other group except for intellectuals. They just had a table full of books, and they just said, "Do with it what you will." I said, "Okay." I had always wanted to read Song of Solomon, and that's exactly what I ended up reading. Um, Song of Solomon, for those of you that don't know, is about sex. It's about a sexual relationship, and what that's supposed to look like and different things like that. It's pretty much a love song from Solomon to his wife, in essence, and it's the way that they interacted with each other. Um, yeah, I do know that Solomon had more than one wife, but that's kind of the basis of what we think that poem, that song is. Um, and so I read it, and it was within that instant when I finished it that everything changed. Everything. I finished reading it, and I just said, wow. First, I was completely blown away by how lyrical and how beautiful it was. For a book about sex, I'd never seen writing about sex so wonderful, so glorious. It was just, it was stunning. It was beautiful. And then I said, can I consciously actually write write a love song or like just a love poem to a man that is this passionate? And the answer was no. And then I asked myself the second question: if sex was out of the equation, could I actually love a man fully? And the answer was no. And if you refer back to what I said earlier on in this video, I was the guy that said I could have a relationship without having sex, but it was always about the buildup to the consummation of that relationship. So I said, I've been wrong. I've been wrong this entire time. Something needs to change. So I went back to that guy I had been meeting up with. I said, I would like to come to Christ. And he said, are you sure? He wanted to check and make sure I wasn't riding my emotions, which is something that I tend to do. Um, but that day I really thought, I had been thinking about it for a while by that point in time. So I received Christ in the middle of that campus on that day. That was October 14th, 2010. And now, just to define a little bit of a change. Before I came to Christ, the appeal for having a gay relationship was at 100%. Now, and this is a little over a year later, um, it's at 32%. It's not fully gone. I don't know if it will ever fully go away. The temptation will always probably be present, but going from 100% to 32% within a year is a huge decline. And the reality is that there are days that I think about going back to it, but over every month, it declines even more. And I think by 2 years there will be hardly any appeal from a daily standpoint, maybe from a monthly or yearly, but not again from a daily. So um, things changed. This this was just to tell you, everyone, including what I'd done in the past, does a coming out story on YouTube. I've never seen a coming to Christ story the opposite way, specifically concerning this community. Um, and so that's what this video is. And this is the start of a little series of videos about this topic, looked at from a Christian perspective. Um, so if you have any questions, you can feel free to write below. I will read all of the comments. If you're going to leave a hateful comment, that is fine. That's your prerogative. And I cannot change your opinion um, in that regard. But just please be gentle to the people that actually do want to have a conversation about that. I would just ask you to please be gentle. Um, and for those of you that watched through this video, I'm sure I've pissed a lot of people off, but thank you for watching fully to the end. And the next video within this series will be up shortly. Thanks for watching.